Let us talk about jQuery. jQuery is what is considered to be a JavaScript framework. A framework is a set of tools, a set of methods, a set of a library you can think of that allows us to work better with JavaScript, allows us to work in a more efficient manner with JavaScript, with HTML, with CSS. And it allows us to extend the abilities of JavaScript to do fairly complex tasks fairly simply. There are a lot of different JavaScript frameworks out there, and jQuery has been around for a long period of time, and so it's a fairly well developed framework. It might not, at one point in time, it was a very popular framework. It might not be as popular now because there are newer frameworks that come about every year, every 2 years, but it is one of the more well developed frameworks. And so the reason we're going to be talking about jQuery is because it allows us to provide it provides us a stable base from which to manipulate and work more efficiently with JavaScript. Now, jQuery is a very extensive framework. There are lots of abilities it provides us. It provides us with a lot of different functionalities, and we're not going to take a look at all of them. We're going to take a look at some of them. We're going to take a look at what is the basic way in which we can work with a HTML document, with the HTML document object model through jQuery. And as you have seen, there are a variety of readings, there are a variety of cheat sheets that I have put up that y'all can look at and experiment with jQuery. Now, as I said, it's a library to simplify interactions between the HTML DOM and JavaScript, and it is fairly popular. It's a fairly small library in the sense that it is lightweight. It's easy to download, and one of the advantages of the jQuery framework is that it kind of homogenizes browsers. It normalizes browser differences, because normally different browsers implement different versions of JavaScript or different aspects of JavaScript, and working with the jQuery framework allows you to write one version of JavaScript that works homogeneously across all different browsers. It is very well documented, and so you'll find good jQuery support on sites such as Stack Overflow. Now, the basic process to work with jQuery is that you have to you use jQuery to find some HTML elements on a HTML document, and you do something to them, and subsequently use other methods to keep doing things to them. So you basically chain multiple methods that are present within the jQuery framework to manipulate those elements that you have selected, right? So that's kind of going to be this process model of how we work with jQuery. You find something using jQuery, you manipulate them, you do something to them, and you keep kind of doing those things by chaining multiple methods. Now, how do you use jQuery? Well, first of all, you can actually download jQuery. So if you go to the jQuery website, you can actually download the jQuery library. But the advantage of using jQuery is that you can actually use a content distribution network. You can use Google CDN. They have the jQuery library hosted up, so you can just point your web page to the jQuery library, and you can just use it that way. So that's the way that I'm going to kind of work with jQuery. Now, the jQuery library is loaded after the HTML document is loaded, right? And to do that, it relies on the ready method. So this is a method within jQuery, and all the code with all the JavaScript code and the jQuery code that you write goes in within this ready method. And basically what this ready method keeps doing is it checks continuously to make sure that that the document is loaded up, right? That the HTML document is loaded up, and subsequently after the loading of the document, it actually starts triggering functions that are present within within the ready method, right? And you can have a variety of different functions within the ready method, and so when we are actually taking a look at the code, we'd actually work with the ready method. Now let's talk a little bit about jQuery selectors. There are very different selectors. You use selectors to select the different elements of the HTML DOM that you're interested in, right? You can select, for instance, all the div tags, and you will notice that all jQuery statements start with the $sign, right? And so this is the way to signify that this is kind of a jQuery function that you're using, right? You're using jQuery over here, and you always start with the $sign, right? And so you can select div elements, you can select ID elements, you can select class elements. So there are a variety of different jQuery selectors. Again, the cheat sheets that are uploaded help you figure out, okay, which selector do I need to be using, right? And so the use of jQuery selectors, again, if you go back to our process, is you first select what you want, and then you manipulate it in some way, right? And then you can keep manipulating it by chaining multiple methods together. So the first thing you would want to do when you're working with jQuery is to select the HTML element that you want using jQuery selectors. And then after selecting the element, you want to manipulate it. You might want to add a class. You might want to remove a class. You might want to add some style elements. You might actually want to modify the HTML of that element. And so you would use jQuery functions such as add class, remove class, toggle class, has class, .css to add CSS, .html to work with the HTML. And so again, the jQuery cheat sheets that are uploaded talk about the different ways that you can actually manipulate HTML elements, right? You can actually kind of append elements to an already existing element using the .append function. Again, these are different functions that are available within jQuery for you to manipulate an element that you have previously selected. jQuery also allows you to monitor events that take place on certain DOM elements, and so now you don't have to actually associate the event with the specific DOM element. So when you're writing the HTML out, you might not have to actually take the event and associate the event with the HTML. The event handling, you can just have it within jQuery, and jQuery is just monitoring the entire HTML, making sure that when you perform some sort of event associated with the HTML element, the function is triggered. The jQuery and the JavaScript code that you write is triggered. Now, jQuery is in fact JavaScript, right? So standard JavaScript applies over here, right? The stuff that we've been learning over the last couple of weeks actually applies over here, and so you can write standard JavaScript within jQuery. There are a variety of different events that can be handled by jQuery: click, key press, blur, mouse enter. Again, there are a variety of different events that are part of kind of the cheat sheet set that you can use, right? This is just a very brief description of some of the abilities of jQuery, some of the functionality that's present within jQuery, and we will now take a look at some of the code that illustrates these concepts.